Oh, why does this happen to me? I don't know why this happens to me. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Why does this happen to me? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And that's so annoying as well. My mic was muted. So literally my controller was muted. So when I muted it, I thought I was unmuted. I've been talking all this time. So apologies for that. I guess, I don't know, we go from the top. Well, hello and welcome to what is another edition of Ero F2. This time we're already 6 minutes through quali, 12 minutes on the clock. Should be an interesting season. We've got some very familiar faces on the grid, also some returning faces, notably Prime Vilsey, who just goes P3 in his Mercedes. He's going to try and lead the charge for the Brackley team this season. We've got somebody who's just been disqualified, T-Bran1. I'm not sure what has happened there, but he has been disqualified. Nonetheless, so yeah, apologies again, I was muted and I was talking, which is annoying, but yeah, we should have a fairly entertaining season on our hand. There's going to be 17 races this season, starting off in Great Britain before we move to Miami next week. There's yellow flags in all sectors of the track, slow moving cars probably just getting out of the way as we watch Smarteroni, I don't know how you say it, Smarteroni, on his lap in the Red Bull, 27.7 first sector, popping up as purple. Also, so another thing this season, which will be very intriguing to watch, will be the tyre compounds, as obviously we now have the choice to select whatever tyre we want to start on, so whether it be soft, medium or hard, regardless of what tyre you qualify fastest on. One thing I've seen, because I've actually not played the game since probably the first week in August, really since when they made the big changes. One thing I have seen on YouTube is a lot of people choosing to go for the hardest compound of tyre when starting the race, and obviously just due to the fact that the warm-up is basically impossible. So it will be interesting to see what people go for. From what I experienced before the I don't know if you call it a patch or just the changes to the handling, was basically the same. Starting on mediums, as Smarter only goes across the line as a 28.5, starting on the mediums and switching to the hards in the middle of the race is always a bit of a risk, just due to the fact that the first 2 laps would basically be impossible, or well, it wouldn't be impossible, but you would not be going fast at all. You'd lose a lot of time. So a lot of people generally, just from what it seems, look to be choosing to start on the harder compound of tyre, and then obviously having avoiding that having to do that warm-up phase on the hards, and then switching to either the mediums or the softs. So it'll be interesting to see what people choose to do this season. I personally have no idea. Again, I was quite put off when they changed the handling model. So I think I was playing the game quite a bit, I'd say, in July. But when they changed everything around, it was kind of like, I guess we got to start again. And it didn't really happen. So my sweating will start most likely after this session or tomorrow morning, because I'm completely unprepared for tomorrow's race in F1, as Masiek has gone to the top by half a second, 127.2. I'd say a little bit surprised to see Masiek in F2, just looking at his pace. Very, very good pace. I think he should be in F1 personally. I'd like to see him challenge himself a bit more in that regard, and maybe next season we see him in the highest division as King gets massively out of shape on the penultimate corner. He's going to come across the line and do a 29.8. So still a lot of time to find for King. We can watch Liam Cross on board as he goes through the middle sector, currently improving by just under 0.2 of a second. Masiek, I believe, is on a cool-down lap at the moment. So interesting to see what he does. And it's interesting to see how the cars are going through some of the high-speed corners. I would give you the names. I know the names, but sometimes I get them a bit mixed up. So I just try not to embarrass myself. So we'll just use sectors for now. Coming across the middle sector line, and it's 1 minute 4.3. So he's up by 0.3, but that will not be enough to get him into the top 8 at the moment. He needs to find a bit more time in his final sector. It sounded a little bit low on the revs there. Can he make his braking point? It looks like he's gone very deep. Yep, he would have lost a lot of time there, going deep, as there's a spinning Haas Up ahead, he's going to come across the line and stays P10. Does improve by 4 tenths, but not enough at the moment. We've got Wagener, who a couple of seasons ago was probably, I wouldn't say by far, it was definitely the quickest on the grid, but just couldn't finish a race. He couldn't keep his car out of the barrier. He's invalidated his lap as well, so he's not going to go any quicker. We've got Vilzu, who I'm very keen to watch, my former teammate, returning to ERO this season as a full-time driver in the Mercedes. It'll be very interesting to see what his pace is going to be like. I believe he is a former F2 champion, if my memory serves me correctly. I'm sure you all remember his brilliant race victory in Australia. I certainly do. I was in the party afterwards. Well, I was in the party the whole way as Bashi goes P1 and a 27.0, so he goes provisional pole. Still 6 minutes to go in the session as Vilzu's attacking the middle sector. Let's see what he can pull out the bag. He's got 8 tenths to find if he wants to put himself on provisional pole. Can he find that time as he makes his way down the back straight? And he's improved by half a tenth, so currently it doesn't look like enough, but possibly he could get himself onto the second row of the grid as an Aston Martin pulls out of the way, and he comes down to the final section of corners, and he does hit the first apex very nicely. Can he keep the traction in check? Just about. He would have lost a little bit of time. You could tell he was a little bit cautious on the power, and he did lose a bit of time, only enough to go P4. You've got Astros behind, improving by just under a tenth of a second. What can he do? Looks like he hooks up very nicely. Can he get the power down as well? Yes. Very good progression coming through the final corner. Surely he's going to improve, and he does improve, but he does stay in P3. Masiek in the pits, and Bashi will be on a slowdown lap. Libenow goes P3 on a really good lap. It'd be interesting to see his pace this season as well in the Ferrari 27.4. Who else is on the track and improving? Wagener is coming into the box. So it seems like drivers will be coming into the pits and putting on a new set of tyres for the final lap. Can't see how many laps are left. I'm sorry, I can't see how much time is left in quali yet. Turn down game sound by 1 or 2. Okay. Yeah, sorry guys, it's been a while since I commentated, so if anything's a little bit game set audio settings, master volume. I think that's what you wanted me to do. Yeah, I did talk for 6 minutes. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and it's funny enough, I've actually done that before. Yeah, but yeah, it's just the commentator rust. You know, it's been quite a while since I commentated, so please do bear with me if there are any short malfunctions, but not to worry. We'll definitely have an enjoyable race, and I'll try my hardest to give you guys a really good race from my side. So 4 minutes left now in qualifying. Cars coming into the pits, so we'll take stock of what we've got currently. You've got Bashi on provisional pole on a 127.0, and you've got Masiek just under 2 tenths of a second behind. You've then got Libenow also under 2 tenths of a second behind. Both Ferraris there getting pushed back into the garage, so it'll be interesting to see that fight for pole and how it transpires. And then you've got Folly on a lap. Oh no, he's not on the lap. I believe he's coming into the pits. He's just pushing very hard. Yeah, there you go. 3 minutes left, so he does actually need to be quite quick, especially with that really slow pit lane. And then you've got Prime Vilzu, who I believe is coming out of the pits. Yep, in P6. Let's see what he can do. We'll jump back on board with him. We've actually got Nezdek on an outlap, as well as Liam Cross. So let's see who's a bit further up the track. Liam Cross. So we'll stay on board Liam Cross. We'll keep an eye out on Vilzu and the lead cars for when they come out of the pits. But we'll watch this lap and see if he can improve on his 128.2. Currently sitting outside the top 10, so he'll definitely want to do better than that, especially in this first race of the season, to put him in a good starting position. Going through turn 1, easy flat, hug it to the left hand side, brake just before the 50-meter board, clip the inside apex, nicely done. Keep the revs somewhere in the midpoint. You don't want it too high, otherwise you'll probably spin out. Down the back straight, DRS gonna be wide open now, and you wait to spot your braking point. I don't know where I brake, because again, I've not played this game in a while, but you brake somewhere around 100 meters. Oh, and he's lost the rear, and that's the lap over. So shame for Liam Cross. He will get a chance to go again though, so not all is not lost. I believe Nezdek was another driver on a lap, and Vespa is the next driver, so we'll stay on board with Vespa, who's in a decent position, P9. All he needs to really do is find about 3-4 tenths of a second, and he could be up in P5. So let's see if he can do that. I believe this is another new driver here in F2, so let's see what he's about on this lap, improving by 0.02 of a second. Still a lot of time to find, I'm sure, in the middle sector where most of the time is. But then again, this is a really strange track. You can actually gain and lose time in all sectors and not really know where you're doing it. Could be turn 3 or it could be round here as he's going to drop it down to gear 7, which, as it looks like, is the way around this track. Everybody is out on track except for Smerteroni. So we'll finish off the lap with Vespa, and then we'll turn our attention to the guys currently in the top 5 that look like they'll be battling it out for the front 2 rows, as he's improved by 1.5 tenths. So this lap could put him up in P5 if he can find a little bit more time in the final sector. He's going to use all of the track on the left decently enough. Now he needs to find his braking point and hit that inside apex. Yes, he does it nicely. Can he keep the car from spinning? Yes, he does it. Very sweet and sound, and he comes across the line and he goes up into P6 as Smerteroni retires in the pits. You've got Vespa coming through the middle sector. Prime Vilzu coming through the middle sector. Where's Vespa? Vespa improved and went up to P7. We'll follow Vilzu on board, who's improving by just over 1 tenth. He's got some cars up ahead of him, but shouldn't affect him at all in his lap. I believe we've got a spinner. It's an Aston Martin in the middle sector. Shouldn't get in anybody's way. There's an AlphaTauri coming past him now as Vilzu opens his DRS and is up by just under 2.5 tenths. So this could put him in and around that battle for the second row of the grid. As there's a spinner up ahead, that will be a little bit distracting. Can he hook it together nicely? Yes, he can. A little bit, he had to come off the power a bit mid-corner, but that shouldn't cost him too much time as he hits the inside apex. Very sweet. Is he going to keep the traction together? Yes, he does. He had to be a little bit late on the power as the rear slid a little bit, but he does improve by just under 4 tenths and goes up into P3. You've got Masiek now in the fight for pole position. You've got Bashi up ahead on the grid. We're going to follow him in the Red Bull and see if he can take pole position in what I believe would be his first race in ERO. I'm not too sure if he was an F3 driver beforehand, but I've not seen his name before, so we'll run with it as he comes through the middle sector. Maggots, Beckett's, he's hit the curb, so he would have lost a bit of time there. Surely a decent chunk, and he's gone on the grass. It looks like it's been a scruffy middle. He's only improved by 0.02 of a second, and he would have lost time as well there. So at the moment, it looks like pole position is for the taking. Who is going to take it? It could be Bashi, it could be Masiek. Masiek currently coming through the middle sector at the moment. I believe he might be a couple cars behind, but we'll watch Bashi as he comes through the last 2 corners and he keeps it nice and sweet. Is he going to improve on his 27 flat? Yes, he does, but not by much. Masiek is up by 0.3 of a second. Is he going to take the first pole position of the season here in the Ero F2 as he comes across the line and does a 26.9? Masiek is on provisional pole. Can anybody deny him? Libanal coming through the penultimate corner in the Ferrari. Looks like he's been a little bit tentative, but has he got enough to take pole? No, he doesn't. I believe he's not going to improve either. Folly down by 1.5 tenths. Lachey has invalidated. Pangrio coming across the line and he goes up into P5. So a good lap there from the Alfa Romeo driver late on to get himself on the 3rd row of the grid, and Folly is not going to improve as he has invalidated the lap. I believe that is the end of qualifying, and Masiek takes the first pole position of the season. It did go right down to the end. Bashi, unfortunately for him, didn't manage to improve in his middle sector. He made a little bit of a mistake through Maggots and Beckett's, but Masiek capitalized and gained time on what was his initial best of a 27.2 to do a 26.9. The only man to be in the 126s to take the first pole position of the season. So now we wait for Codemasters to release us into what we should be at the moment, because I believe everybody is... oh, there we go. Good stuff. Okay, as Wage now says he's slow with no practice. Don't worry, I'm going to be the same. Masiek takes pole by just under a tenth of a second, but look at the gap from the top two to the rest of the field. It's over 4/10 of a second, so it will be an interesting race. Two Finns on the second row of the grid, Petuka and Vilzu on his F2 return. You've got Pangrio, the gap between the three of them, only 10 or 100th of 10,000th of a second. I don't even know what you call that, but Petuka to Pangrio, absolutely nothing between them. You've got Vilzu only half a tenth behind Pangrio in P6. Astros, his teammate in the Ferrari P7. Folly doing a lap late on there to get P8. Neztec and Vespa rounding out the top 10. And then... Okay, I think I need to mute everybody. Who's that? Oh, Neztec. Sorry, mate. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. I think people say they can hear me. I'm sorry if you can. Let me check. So just to make sure. Because I don't want to be disturbing people on their qualifying laps. Cool. All right. Wait, I don't know if can you guys hear me in the race? I'm not sure. Anywho, I need to grab a tissue before the race starts, so give me 2 seconds. Okay, and we are about to be underway. I need to check the Arsenal score. 2-1. Oh my gosh. And Arsenal won. Get in there. Anywho, now down to the important stuff. Imagine if there was no formation lap. That would have been really interesting. Let's get the tyre information up. And there you go. So, 2 of the top 3 choosing to go for the hard tyres. That's not what I wanted to press. 2 of the top 3 choosing to go for the hard compound tyres. You've also got 2 other cars choosing to go for the softs. And then you've got the 2 guys on the back row of the grid on the hards also. So it's going to be an interesting start. Everybody else choosing to go for the medium tyres. So those laps where they have to do the warm-up will be, I guess that will decide the race, because the guys on the hards will most likely switch to the softs at some point in this race. I'm not too sure. Again, please let me know if I'm wrong. I've not really been keeping up with the way that the tyres have changed since the patch, but it'll be interesting to see. And also interesting to see if the front 2 run away with it. I guess now Bashi on the hards has put himself in a bit of a grey area, because he's got cars that are going to be behind him and quicker than him in the early phase of the first stint in this race. So as they're going to try and get their tyres up to temperature, I could take my charger out now, I believe. We'll see how the beginning of this race goes, and we'll see who is really looking to take charge in this division. I know there's quite a few full-time drivers missing, but at the end of the day, it all adds up. You miss races, you miss points. So who can take the initiative and get themselves in a good position for the 17 race season that we have this year in ERO. There's been a lot of hype building up to this start. Obviously tomorrow we've got F1, but today is the best of the rest, and let's see who can really make the difference as somebody gets disqualified on the grid. And now we wait for the lights. So the great Martin Brundle once said, look but never stare. Who's gonna set the gauntlet down in F2 as it's lights out and away we go. And it looks like Masiek's got a good start, but the Alfa Romeo of, not sorry, the Aston Martin Patuca's got past Bashi going into turn one. And it looks like Pangrillo's going to have a little bit of that. Red Bull as well. Somebody's off. There's a Williams that's gone off the track and he looks like he's quite out of control there. Hopefully he's not got damage. And the Red Bull Bashi losing positions. Vilzu now up into P4, trying to make his way around the outside. Bashi still falling down like a stone with those hard tyres on. They will have absolutely no temperature. He's lost another position to Folly as Masiek is streaking away out in front. We've got Ferrari, I believe that is Astros, having a look at Bashi, and he gets through also up the inside. Bashi losing position after position. He might find himself outside of the top 10 before lap one. We've got yellow flags in set to one. I believe that's the Williams of Wage now. Unfortunately, he's had a terrible start. That must have been him we saw skating off the track as Libanau wants to get in on the action, following Bashi around the middle sector as Mats and Laxe are switching places, P11 and P12. We've still got Libanau on the back of Bashi. He would like to get past as quickly as possible. He doesn't want to lose touch with his teammates, so we'll follow him on board as he looks to try and put the Red Bull under pressure. Not many other battles going on at the moment. We have got Mats having a look up the inside of Ennis, who's on the soft tyres. Is he going to send it? Oh, looks like they almost made contact there. He does send it up the inside and he should get the position. The camera angle doesn't show us much. Yes, he does. And Ennis coming under pressure from his teammate, who makes his way around the outside as Liam Cross goes deep and has to go across the grass. It's been quite a manic first lap here in Great Britain. He's lost about 3 positions there, and you've got the guys running at the back. But at the moment, you've got the top 5. Oh, as Vilzi looks to send it up the inside of Pangrillo. He had a little look there, thought better of it, but he's going to set himself up to have a really good run at the Alfa Romeo driver coming down the back straight. Is he going to use that ERS to get past? You can see Masiek pulling away in the front. A 2.6 second gap already as Wagenard's retired from this race. Unfortunately on lap 1, and he's left the session. Unfortunate for Wagenard. That's not how he would have wanted to start his season, and he's retired already. So 0 points for the former F2 champion. But in the meantime now, you've got Pangrillo having a little look up the inside of Patuca. Patuca really hanging on to that second position. With Vilzu loses it and he's going to go off the track. Oh, heartbreak for Vilzu. He might not drop back too far from the pack, as I believe he's getting back on the track now, but it's a shame for him as he had a really exciting start, but he lost the rear, and that is him now at the back of the grid, as you still got Pangrillo having a little look up the inside of Patuca, who's 2.9 seconds behind Masiek, who's looking to grow his lead, and a little bit of left and right there from Pangrillo, was trying to find a way around Patuca, but Patuca was having absolutely none of it. And we've got another spinner, I believe that is. There's a lot going on right now. I'm sorry about the cameras if it's getting a bit confusing. I'm trying to find myself also. There's a spinner, I believe that's King, who's now down at the back of the grid. So there was contact somewhere in the midfield. And you've got Astros now battling his teammate Libanau. He's going to try and make his way around the outside, and the Red Bull sniffing blood there from the Ferraris. They're battling each other. Is he going to try and find a way past? We'll watch this on board the Red Bull as the Ferraris are going to go side to side, but Astros lets his teammate go through, it seems. Some really good battling here at the moment. Oh, as the Red Bull's trying to put his nose up the inside, and he does. They're going to make contact. And the Red Bull and the Ferrari make contact, and they've lost some time. All is not lost, but it's been a shocking first couple of laps for Bashi on those hard tyres. He started on the front row. He's now down to 12th. That is the risk you take when you start on the hard compound of tyres. Your race can be done, or more or less, in the first couple of laps. So it'll be interesting again to see what people choose to do for the future, as Folly and Pangrillo are switching places. The Alfa Romeos, Folly gets past his teammate Pangrillo, who looked like he was struggling a little bit, as Patuca has actually dropped 2 positions also. So those hard tyres not paying off at the moment, but we'll see if it pays dividends when they all come into pit, because again, when you're on the mediums and you have to switch to those hards, the warm-up is absolutely brutal. So we'll see what happens. Let me get rear wing damage. excuse me, and we've got still some good battling going on in the midfield here. Well, this is actually as Folly's lagged out. Folly's disconnected and Libanon's retired. What's happened there? Libanon's crashed. That's going to be a safety car. Surely that's a safety car. Yeah, it's a safety car. Oh, what's happened there to Libanon? Oh, it's a shame we've missed that. I'm not sure what's happened there. He must have made contact with probably his teammate going down the straight. And that's been a lifeline for Folly, actually, as he only loses one position to his teammate due to the safety car. And what this also means is that those on the mediums have a chance to switch over to the hard compound tires. So what are the guys on the hards going to do? Are they going to pit or are they going to stay out on track? So cars in the pits now. Let's see as Masiek obviously comes into box for the hards. It looks like is that Bashi stays out on the hards. Patuka also stays out on the track. So the guys that started on the hards really have no choice but to stay out on the track. Everybody else will be in the pits for the hard tires. So we should see a track full of hard tire runners. Folly also stayed out, as I'm not sure if it's because of when he rejoined or if he didn't want to stack behind his teammate. But nonetheless, he's now in the medium. He's still on the medium tires, and at some point we'll probably want to switch over to the softs. I'm not sure how long those the softs last around this track, but nonetheless, it's a bit of a sticky situation for Folly. As you've got T-Brand, I'm not sure where he started. Let's have a look at some of the position changes. Obviously now this may be skewed a bit due to pit stops, but Masiek is still the net race leader. He's in P5. He's had a brilliant start to this race. Again, I personally think he should be in the top division of F1. I hope he does challenge himself to do that because he's got a very good pace, does Masiek. As there's a drive-through penalty given to Hollow Man down in P16. I'm not sure what's happened there, but he's just been given a drive-through penalty, probably speeding. Would they be running at the Delta? I don't think they'd be running at the Delta at this point. Should have been released. Yeah, because they're behind the safety car, so not sure what he got a drive for, but it's a lifeline also for Vilzu, who was running in a fairly good position before his spin. So let's see what Vilzu can do also, as the cars are going to form up behind the safety car. So when the safety car comes in, I feel like this race is probably going to explode once again. Not really got a mixture of compounds, just new and old hard tires. But the difference is only 4 laps. So I wonder if anybody's going to be thinking about a 2-stop. I guess at this point, you probably wouldn't. Hollow Man retires. Is he crashed in the final? It looks like he's gone off in the penultimate corner. I'm not sure how you DNF there exactly, but some strange things going on with that Haas, but he's out of the race, so we don't care. Folly currently leading the pack on the mediums. The safety car will most likely be in on this lap. King actually is a car lagging behind, so maybe we'll have another lap behind the safety car, which will help anybody like Folly that has stayed out and most likely going to switch onto the soft tires in his last stint. So yeah, we'll have another lap behind the safety car. So bear with me. I'll be back halfway through the final lap. All right, here we go. This should be the safety car coming in, which means that we're about to find out who has decided to do the right thing. We're going to actually follow the Red Bull on board just to watch how Folly does his restart. We'll try. Hopefully they keep us a good camera angle, or they give us a good camera angle rather. See what transpires on the safety car restart. When is Folly going to choose to put down the throttle? And he's gone a little bit early. Is that taking anybody by surprise? We don't know. And look, it looks like it has T-Brand 1.4 seconds behind, but the camera angles they're giving us are not amazing. You've got Patuka following T-Brand around, who's been caught napping 1.8 seconds off the lead now. He's going to find himself in big trouble if he can't get into the DRS of Bashi. Bashi looking like, he's still not pit. We'll watch Masiek, who's in P5. He's going to have to be careful. And Manny's front wing, as there's yellow flags in the first sector. It looks like Vespa has made contact with someone or spun round. Pangrio, Mats Helsman, P7 and P6 currently with a 1.2 gap to Smerteroni. Currently nothing happening at the moment. It seems like this is all going to come down to strategy, as everybody now finds himself on more or less the same compound of tyre. You've got Patuka looking like he wants to apply pressure on the Williams. Is he going to try and make his way up the inside? And we've seen how this has ended in real life, but they don't make contact due to the person on the left being smarter than a lot of people. I won't say no names. But you've still got Masiek in behind, and Masiek's going to try and make his way up the inside. Does he have to risk it? No, he doesn't. And he takes the cautious route. Very, very smart from him. But he might actually lose out due to that. Pangrio having a look, and he's also got a horseman who wants to come up the inside. How is this going to end? It looks like they might go 4-1, and that definitely would not work. It looks like they're all being fairly cautious at the moment. They don't want to take off anybody's front wing. Is he going to send it? Husman does go around the outside, but he knocks his brake and goes a little bit deep, so he'll lose time. Will that offer up a chance to Smertoni? No, it doesn't. But you've got Patuka and T-Brand going side by side. Patuka should make his way up into P3, into turn 1, and is this going to offer an opportunity to Masiek to send it up the inside? No, he thinks better of it. But you can see, Pangrio aggressively tried to make him run the outside, and he's not ghosted. The Red Bulls lost some of his front wing end plate. Smerteroni has been a victim. Unfortunately, T-Brand's been spun round as well. What is going on? Husman on the back of Masiek. He's going to try and make a move coming to the end of the first sector, but it looks like Masiek will have just enough straight line speed. It was all going on there in the first sector as there's still yellow flags, and T-Ban is now down in P16. What a shame for him. He was running nicely in the top 3. He now finds himself at the back of the grid. Vilzu's made his way up into P10. We'll keep an eye on him. He's still got decent pace out there on the track at the moment. He's a 10th behind Nestek. Is he going to try and make a move? We've got a little bit of a train that will form here once the DRS opens up, so he'll want to get past as soon as possible. You've also got Folly only 1.8 seconds out in front, but Masiek knows he doesn't have to take any big risks, but he probably wouldn't want to fall too far behind, as Folly will most likely put on those soft tires and be rapidly fast at the end of this race. As Vilzu sniffing around Nestek. Is he going to send it? I'm sure he will send it. No, he doesn't, but Nestek goes deep, thinking that Vilzu was going to pull it up the inside. They're going to go wheel to wheel. The camera angle wasn't good, and they make contact, and he's out of the race. It's going to be a safety car. Nestek out of the race, unfortunately. The Ferrari. Oh, what's going on? What is going on here? That is terrible driving. The Ferrari slammed on the brakes and has slowed down massively, and King has driven straight into the back of him. What is that? This is poor stuff. Vilzu managing to get away without damage. Unfortunately, Nestek and King, victims of, well, basically not really their fault. They are both out of this race, and we are down to 14 runners at the moment. Only 10 laps in, so it's been a fairly chaotic F2 opener here in Great Britain, and I guess this will give a chance to guys to pit. Folly's most likely gonna have to come in now, because I guess he could put the softs on at the end, but we'll see what he chooses to do. We'll follow him around, but yeah, really unfortunate for a couple of drivers. They're victims, through no fault of their own. They are out of this race. Very interesting stuff. We'll have to keep an eye on that Ferrari of Astros, as he really slowed down quite significantly on the back straight there. I'm sure the stewards will want to take a look at that. The stream is laggy. What? Why is the stream laggy? Hold on a sec. Wait, is there a problem with the stream? Let me know, please. Oh, this is PC. Sorry. I was about to say, why would the stream be lagging? I was looking at the PC one. Anywho. There we go, PS. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think I can hear somebody. I need to mute them. Sorry. Oh, I can't even select a mistake. Is it possible for you to mute everyone? There we go. Can I mute everybody? I can't. Okay, here's what it is. Anyway, so we've had some people coming into the box, and Folly, who was leading, has pit, and he's gonna have 6 lap newer hard tires as Houseman resets the track. What is going on? Botinho, please let me know what's happening. I'm a bit confused. I'm sure he knows the rules, but we saw him reset the track there, so that will be a penalty for Husman. And Bashi also now on the medium tires. Hadn't he started on the mediums? If he didn't, then he may be in for... No, he didn't. So Bashi could be in really good shape for the rest of this race now on the mediums. Liam Cross finds himself in P2. Not sure how this has happened, but he's found his way up into second place. Masiek has retaken what was a provisional race lead for himself. Oh! And Folly's just been taken out. He's made contact with, I believe it was either Bashi or Houseman. I'm not too sure who it was exactly, but Folly has been spun out going down the back straight, and there are guys coming to the pits. Vilzu coming into the box to probably put on another set of medium tires. Again, I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah, chaos. I guess it's gonna end that way in terms of the chaotic nature of the race, but it is what it is. And there's more contact being made. I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's been a fairly stressful 12 laps. And I don't remember the last time I commentated. So to return to a chaotic race, I guess is always interesting. I guess it's better than it being completely boring. We'll see how it plays out towards the end of the race, but it feels like it's just a little bit of, relative calm before a storm. You can see the mixture of tires as well. So this is really going to throw up a very interesting 14 laps here around Silverstone. So I'd say prepare for what could be carnage, as some would say. We'll keep an eye out for that. The safety car should be in on this lap, as Vilzu, who's actually on old hard tires, interestingly enough, forms up to the back of the grid. So he must have had damage, because otherwise I don't see why. Actually, he was on the mediums for about 6 laps. Listen, I have no idea. Let's wait and see. We've got one Mercedes at the front, another Mercedes at the back, safety car leading the pack. That safety car will be in this lap. You've got Liam Cross, who's gained quite a lot of positions, 12 positions, as well as Houseman, who's gained 12 positions at the moment, currently running in the podium positions. You've got Bashi on a brand new medium tires. So what's going to happen here? Is Masiek going to run away with this? It looks like that might not be the case on those hard tires. Patuka, also in P6, obviously has really good pace, so we'll keep an eye out for him and what he can do. But at the moment, we're going to watch the race leader, and when he's going to choose to go, we'll watch it on board Liam Cross, and he's gone. Masiek has gone out in front, and as he caught everybody lacking, unfortunately, this is the only camera angle we're getting. There we go. Bashi on the medium tires. We're going to have to watch him very closely. Oh, and Masiek spun! Masiek spun out! Masiek has spun, and he's going to go all the way to the back of the grid. Oh, it's a massive shame for Masiek, who looked absolutely dominant up until that point. But it's like Bashi's going to send it up the inside. Let's get rid of that. Bashi's going to send it up the inside of Holtzman. He takes P2. That man looks like he's on the march to a race victory, and I thought there was a bit of contact there. The Aston Martin going around the outside. Patuka also picking up places. The medium tires, the tire compound to be on. Surely at this point, the hard tires will have absolutely no grip. Folly making his way past the McLaren. You've still got Bashi now chasing down Liam Cross, who's currently the race leader. He's gained 13 positions from the start of this race. He's been on those hard tires for 8 laps, but can he keep it? Surely not. Bashi just so much more grip, so much more traction, makes his way up the inside. It's an easy overtake now, and he's gonna have to pull away as quickly as possible, because Patuka is surely gonna be past these 2 hard tire runners as quickly as you like. As Houseman goes off the track, Patuka's going to try use his ERS to make his way up the inside of Cox. He's going to make it stick. Yes, he does. It's a brilliant move from the Aston Martin driver. He's going to keep that position. Bashi streaking away out in front, 7/10 of a second down the road. You've got Masiek all the way at the back after taking a dominant pole position. He's currently 2.6 seconds behind his teammate Vilzu. He's going to need to get into that DRS zone, otherwise he's got absolutely no chance in this race. You've got drivers switching places. Pangrio and Smerceroni going wheel to wheel, coming through the final sector. Hopefully they don't make contact. That's the Martin driver going deep on the brakes. He's going to make his way around the outside. The Red Bull can look for the switchback. He's going to get the traction he wants to keep his car up the inside. They don't make contact. Good racing there from the 2 drivers, and it's a good move from Pangrio on the hards. Smerceroni currently doesn't have the pace on those 8-lap-old medium tires. As Lachey looks to send it up the inside of Vespa at the moment. His teammate also sniffing behind, as well as Astros in the Ferrari, and his teammate he's on the hard tires, so he will struggle to get past his teammate. Astros in the Ferrari now looking to make a move past the McLaren driver, but he hasn't got the straight line speed, which has also been an interesting note. I wonder what setups people are using, because again, I have absolutely no idea what setup I'm going to use tomorrow. Masiek coming to the back of T-Bran in P14, and the Ferrari using up these ERS to try and make a move past the McLaren, but surely it's too late in the corner. Is he going to try and make it stick around the outside? And I think he does. It's a brilliant move from the Ferrari. The McLaren struggling on those hard tyres, not enough grip, and he picks up a 3-second time penalty also. Patuka is looking, oh, there's a spinner! But we've got Patuka coming past his teammate. Liam Cross lets him through. There was a spinner's Vespa who spun out, unfortunately. And he's now at the back of the grid, as we've got Astros and Latsis switching places. The McLaren and the Ferrari battling once again. I'm sure he's not going to send it up the inside. Yeah, he thinks better of the move, as Bashi is pulling away out in front. He's got a 2.9 second gap now. He's streaking clear of Patuka at the moment, who's struggling to make a way. He's just found his way past his teammate who let him through, but we'll see how it pans out in the next couple of laps. You've got Pangrio joining the party with the Ferrari and the McLaren. Looks like he's got decent pace on those hard tyres at the moment. 9-lap old hards, but still nonetheless looking to put some pressure on the Ferrari. And we've got Houseman in P4, still very close to Liam Cross, and then we've got Folly, and then you've got Laxer, who's on full lap old medium, so he'll want to be getting onto the back of this gaggle of cars here and seeing if he can make an impression. He'll need to get into the DRS, currently 1.4 seconds behind at the moment, so it looks like he's definitely not going to have it on this lap, which will not bode well for his chances of keeping up, as this track is a lot, you lose a lot of time due to those two DRS zones, so you have to be a lot quicker than the cars to really fight for that. But we'll see what happens here. You can see Houseman got a brilliant drive off of that corner. Is he going to use his ERS to fight? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind Liam Cross for now, who's looks like he's kind of just shadowing his teammate at the moment. He could play a very big role in this race if he's got the pace to do so, as Bashi does the fastest lap of the race. He's flying at the moment. Out in front is the Red Bull driver, looking to take, again, what I believe would be his first race victory in Ero. I'm not too sure if he was in F3. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. But if he wasn't, then at the moment he's putting on a good show for the guys and also for his championship chances. You've got Vilzu making his way past Ennis, and Masiek struggling to make an impression. He's P13 at the moment. It will be a shame if he doesn't score any points, as you've got Astros and Laxe battling. They make contact. The McLaren and the Ferrari, they make contact. McLaren goes off the track and he's going to lose 2 positions maybe, or he might just hang on to that, or the Alfa Romeo will get a better drive and he gets a position. So unfortunately he loses 2 positions there. Folly and Houseman still very close to Liam Cross at the moment. We could have a situation where we've got 3 cars abreast going into a corner, as the lag is not amazing, but not unbearable it seems at the moment. And is Foley going to use that ERS? It looks like Liam Cross is going to be defenseless to an onslaught that's going to be coming his way, and we might find ourselves going 3 wide into the corner. No, we don't, but Liam Cross loses 2 places. He can't defend that, but it looks like Foley may well send it up the inside. I don't think he will do, as that would be very risky. He does hit the apex nicely, should get a good exit going down the Hamilton straight, as Houseman goes up into P3. Liam Cross loses 2 positions, and Patuka cannot make ground on Bashi at the moment. He's losing a lot of time per lap, almost 4 tenths a lap on the Red Bull driver, who's really impressing out in front at the moment. It looks like both Mercedes and Max is lagging quite a lot. Houseman's lagging. You can see he's ghosting there just for a second, but he's going to be probably defenseless to what Foley is about to put him in. There you go. Positions change. He's going to try and keep it around the outside, but that's not going to happen. And Liam Cross also battling now with the Ferrari of Astros, who's on the medium tyres. They're going to go wheel to wheel into I don't know. This is Cops. This somebody that's been watching Formula One for like what since 2009. The fact that I don't know these corners by name, well, I guess it is what it is. Anywho, Pangrio currently P7 on the hard tires, 11 laps old. Looks like he's going fairly decent pace. He's going to make his way up the inside. Should be an easy move past the Aston Martin. The straight line speed difference looked fairly significant there. So interesting to note that people are running what seems like very low downforce at the moment. Vilzu now currently running in the top 9, so some really good pace being shown by Vilzu at the moment. Masiek, his teammate, only a couple positions back in P12. 12 lap old hard, so it'll be difficult for him to really make his way back up the pack, unfortunately for him. And he also gets a 3-second time penalty, so some would call that commentator's curse. But the race settling down a little bit at the moment. What does that even mean, bro? Things settling down a bit at the moment, so you've got a couple of battles which will probably go into the late phases of the race as the tyres start to wear. Between P5 and P6, that's Astros and Pangrio. Masiek closing down on the McLaren, and then there's a gap of 1.6 seconds to P10 as it looks like there's been a spin out, and who's that? Patuca. Patuca spun out and he's lost, well, quite a few positions, about 6 positions there. Patuca was running in 2nd place. He's now down to P12, so it's been a shocking race, really, in terms of consistency. Nobody really is, well, some people not really looking like they've got a good handle over the cars. I know that it's very, and the Ferrari, as I say, that gets out of shape. I know it's very difficult, especially on this year's edition of Formula One, to keep that rear in check. I wouldn't be surprised if I was a victim to something like that tomorrow. Fingers crossed that is not the case. But a couple of cars spinning out today, and they're going to go wheel to wheel. Is Pangrio and Astros. They're keeping it clean at the moment. No contact being made. And McLaren might sniff a chance at an overtake here. Apologies, some of the camera angles they changed to are a bit rubbish. Looks like they're going to stay in this order for now. But Bashi now 7.2 seconds out in front. You look at the map in the bottom right, very one-sided at the moment. Folly does not have an answer, but Folly very secure in his 2nd position at the moment on those 8-lap-old hard tyres. And there you go, there's the overtake. It was very likely to happen, as we saw Astros was derating in that Ferrari. Excuse me, there's yellow flags. As a McLaren, it's Lachse. So there must have been contact there. He's now down at into P13. It can't be the back of the grid. Vespa is very far away, 42 seconds back at the moment. This is currently the closest battle on the track. Apologies for the silence. As you see, we've got a bit of a couple of DRS trains here at the moment. Masiek looks like he's pushing really hard to at least get back into the top 8. He's showing some good pace at the moment. He's not got much ERS to attack with, though he will be derating at some point in the rest of this lap as he drops below 10%. Excuse me. As he drops below 10% ERS. Pangrio very close to Holzman at the moment. And there you go, Masiek getting past Smirtoni. He does have a significant amount more pace, it seems, at this point in the race. Excuse my sniffling. And we've got now both Mercedes running P7 and P8. Vilzu 3/10 by Liam Cross, who at one point was running in first position, but just doesn't really have the pace to keep up at the moment. It looks like he's going to lose at least one other place now to the returning Mercedes driver Vilzu. It should be a fairly easy overtake with the DRS, as Liam doesn't really defend it. No point doing so at this time. Vilzu makes his way through now up into P6. It's been a good recovery drive from Vilzu. Both Mercedes having to recover from mistakes. Currently running P6 and P8 as Vespa does the fastest lap of the race on soft tyres. Also got Patuka looking to regain positions after he spun out. Also, he was running in second position, 5 laps to go in this race. Whether or not positions are going to change that much, we will have to wait and see. It seems like it will come down to things like tyre wear, but it seems all the guys on the mediums, bar maybe Smirteroni, are in a safe area in regards to those tyres. It should go. For example, Astros should be able to take those another 5 laps without issue. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Patuka getting past Smirteroni at the moment. He's been on those medium tyres for 15 laps. And you can see Masiek in the background really showing his speed at the moment. He's gained now to the back of Liam Cross. We should actually get a battle between Masiek and Vilzu at some point in this race. I can say I've had quite a few battles with my former teammate, always entertaining. Let's see if Masiek and Vilzu can throw up the same amount of entertainment, as Liam Cross doesn't seem to have too much pace at the moment. What he will have though is the DRS to defend, and a fair amount of ERS as well, so maybe he will be able to stay ahead of Masiek. He's actually not, or he's no longer in the DRS zone at the moment. It's currently a second behind Vilzu, so we'll see if he can maintain that kind of gap or increase it to see if he can keep Vilzu's teammate Masiek behind. As there's been a spin, and it's Astros who's on those 50-lap-old mediums, and you can see he's lost grip, and unfortunately he's losing positions. He's going to go down into P12 outside of the points, unfortunately, for the Ferrari driver. There's been quite a lot of spinners today. A lot of rust, I'm sure, as the season goes on. It will kind of be cut out as people get more used to the game, and so on and so forth. But Masiek about to make a move past Liam Cross, and he doesn't defend, still not using his ERS to defend his position. I guess he's looking to just hold on to P7. Not too sure, but Masiek now a second and a half behind his teammate, who is 2.8 seconds behind Matt. So it looks like it's going to be a battle for P5 for both Mercedes. If Masiek has got the pace, he definitely doesn't have the ERS, but he most certainly did have the pace, especially in early phases of this race. So let's see if he can use that pace in the last 3 laps that we've got here at the British Grand Prix to put on a bit of an exciting battle for us at the end of the race. Liam Cross still losing time. I don't know if he's using his ERS. He's still not. He's using a little bit of his ERS. Probably should use a bit more at this point to stay in the DRS. And Masiek, you can see him derating, so maybe there will even be a possibility for Liam Cross to retake a P6 if Masiek can't get after his teammate Vilzu at this point in the race. You've got Mats battling for the final place on the podium. He's now within DRS of Pangrio, so we'll keep a close eye on that battle as it unfolds. He will get DRS on this lap, being a half a tenth within the DRS detection. We'll follow Mats on board as Bashi starts lap 24 on what has been a dominant for him since the last safety car restart. As you can see, there's been 5 retirements in this race. and quite a difference in strategies as well. As you can tell, most cars have been on the hard tires for around 19 laps, but you've also got quite a few guys on mediums, and then those that have had late spins going for the soft tires. Matt's at the moment outside. Oh, he's actually got the DRS. He's just under a second or over a second behind Pangrio at this point. Masiek not able to gain on his teammate Vilzu, but Liam Cross managing to stay within Masiek's DRS. Both Mercedes drivers also have penalties. I won't reveal the penalties as of yet, so we'll see where they end up in this race. For their sakes, hoping it would be a top 10 after what started off as a very promising weekend for both drivers. Promising race for both drivers. And you've got Max, who's going to be really pushing for that final spot on the podium. He's got the DRS, but how much time does it gain him on the straight? Let's have a look and see what happens to that gap as he starts to reach the top end, and he only gains about a tenth and a half. So it looks like Pangrio's probably running quite low downforce or using that battery to good effect there to keep himself at arm's reach from the AlphaTauri driver. As we enter the penultimate lap, Bashi started that. He's coming through the first, I believe that's turn 5 at the moment. About to come down the first DRS straight. Houseman within 7/10 of a second now behind Pangrio, so he's going to try and reel him in just to the last lap and see if he gets a chance to make a move for the podium position. Masiek now 1.3 seconds behind Vilzu, so he's gained about 3/10 on that last lap. Let's see if that can pay off for Masiek, or if whether Vilzu will hold out to finish in P5 on the track. But Houseman really getting closer to Pangrio. His hands are probably sweating at this point. Houseman not giving him time or space to breathe. He's within 7/10 of a second. If he can maintain this, then he may get a good run on him somewhere in the final lap. Let's see what happens as Houseman has to go down 2 gears into gear 6. And is now coming through the middle sector. It looks like he would have gained a bit of time there. Pangrio not taking that particularly smoothly. Houseman getting a bad exit though. He kind of got a bit of oversteer mid-corner. But the gap still hovering around 7/10 of a second. So at the moment, it won't be enough unless Pangrio makes a bit of an error at some point around the lap. Ooh, and Houseman just about goes off the track. Manages to get away without at least a penalty. I'm not sure if he's just had one warning. But coming into the last lap now, Bashi has started the last lap. We'll stay on board with Houseman and see if he can put an impression on Pangrio on this final lap. Not close enough as of yet. Very deep on the brakes. Gained a little bit of time there. But let's see if Pangrio can get a good exit and at least maintain that third position for the first sector. Yes, he does. Houseman can't get close enough. Masiek can't get close enough to Vilzu. So this is really the only battle that we've got going on at the moment, and it's for the final spot on the podium. And the gap is now 5/10 of a second. He'll get a little bit of a slipstream. Now, can he hold that advantage all the way around? Obviously, the slipstream is a lot less powerful on this game compared to previous editions of the game, but he is closing the gap ever so slightly, and it's going to be all about the exit now for Pangrio as to whether he holds on to that podium position, and they looked fairly sweet. Houseman will be too far behind to attack, as you see Pangrio derating there, so there's really not much to see. But Bashi comes across the line and takes the victory in the first race of the season in Ero F2. So he's laid down the gauntlet for everybody to follow. He showed some really impressive pace there in that last stint, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Foley came across the line to take P3, and his teammate also finishing off the podium places. Vilzu and Masiek, unfortunately for them, P5 and P6 normally wouldn't be too disappointed, but they would have been expecting a lot more than that. at lap 13, the halfway point in this race. Unfortunately for Vils, who spun out early on, but managed to recover. A good recovery drive for him. P5. Masiek, who was leading provisionally this race. Well, actually, I think he took the lead. He retook the lead. He unfortunately spun out at turn 1, I believe it was. So no more than P6 for him. Smerteroni finishes in P7. Petuka also similar, fell to a spin, finishing P8. T-Brand was a victim, I believe, of being taken out, finishes P9. Ennis rounds out the top 10 in P10, and I just got an accomplishment probably for spectating a race. And the Red Bull driver showed some serious pace there to take the first race victory of the season. You got Folly, Pangrio, Hostman, so Vilzu and Masick only with 3-second time penalties. They managed to stay ahead of the rest. And then we had 5 DNFs, I'm sure, which will be looked into after this race. It'll be interesting to see what the stewards think of what is most certainly going to be reported. Let's have a look. But nonetheless, it was a fairly entertaining first race. Apologies for, well, how do I even explain it? I guess I was muted for the first 6 minutes, probably a little bit longer of the stream, so apologies for that. But yeah, it was an entertaining first race of the season. Miami should be even better. That track does tend to throw up some good racing, so be sure to join us for F2 next week. Until then, the next race is tomorrow, Ero F1. Should be a really, really good season. I'm probably gonna struggle tomorrow, but in the future, for future races, should be at least back in the mix for the podium. So we'll wait to see what happens. Then make sure you join us tomorrow at 6 o'clock for that. Until then, I'm low key. You guys join us tomorrow and join us next week. Have a good rest of the week. If you're in the UK, have a good bank holiday weekend. If you're elsewhere, then enjoy your weekend. I'll be back soon.